Hello everyone, this is Group 1. I am Jungkook and speaking for Raj, Lila, Edward, and Linda. For our CHI project, we're going to cover COVID-19's impact on hospitality industry. First COVID-19 case was discovered on January 20th, 2020 in the United States. And since then, as everyone knows, COVID-19 virus has made a dramatic global impact in the hospitality industry. Many forms of travel and tourism were canceled, flights were suspended, traveling disappeared, and every sector of the hospitality industry was impacted by COVID-19. Many hospitality industries such as hotels, restaurants, airports had suffered a heavy loss of profit during the pandemic. With less people traveling to places and being held in quarantine, the hospitality industry has received less business. This pandemic has caused an unpredictable challenge for hospitality industry to recover from. So what sectors of hospitality industries are mainly impacted by COVID-19? As you can see from the slides, hotel, restaurants, airlines, events, and theme parks were hit hardest in the hospitality industry. At the beginning of the year, most sectors listed here had a shutdown, so the result of that was people were losing their jobs. Out of these sectors, hotel restaurants has been hit the hardest. Aside from their occupancy decreasing, hotels also had to cancel and postpone big events such as conference meetings and weddings, which is a huge loss for hotels. Restaurants had no customers to fill the table. We will cover it further on these two sectors in later slides. For hotels, since nobody was traveling, occupancy of the hotels decreased worldwide. One of the problems for hotels was that even though hotels were shut down, they still had to operate internally. I remember from our guest speaker, Mr. Cano, the vice president and the marketing general manager for Ritz-Carlton in Los Angeles, saying that their workers at their hotel had to maintain the hotel's water system. For that to happen, workers had to go inside each room and had to turn on waters in the showers and bathroom area so that hotels can maintain the flow of the water systems. For restaurants, they had to bring their restaurants outside to be opened. For airlines, they had to reduce flight capacity to practice social distancing. Events like weddings had small capacity limit or had to be delayed. Theme parks like Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, Universal Studio, and Six Flags are still closed from beginning of the year. Other sectors of entertainment industries that are familiar to us that had to close or shut down or be delayed includes movie theater, Medieval Times, Pirate Dinner Venture, and Orange County Fairs. How does post-COVID-19 world in the hotel look like? Most importantly, safety is the main issue. They must ensure to guests that their hotels are sanitized and clean. Designs of hotels will change drastically to ensure safety for the guest. Many hotels are looking into changing their hotel design into more eco-friendly environment to ensure to guests that hotel indoors are safe, free from viruses. Guest rooms will also be redesigned, in which we'll recreate guest rooms that will feature a gym, dining area, and offices so that guests doesn't have to go outside for any unnecessary contact with strangers. The future hotel industry will rely heavily on technology as well. With hotel occupancy down significantly during the pandemic, hoteliers are coming up with plans to be operable against new outbreaks and pandemics. Again, hotels need to assure to travelers again that hotels are a safe place. Changing the hotel designs by using technology will be the new trend for all lodging industry from now on. Hotels should emphasize contactless, touchless features. Having contactless and touchless technology available in the hotel will eliminate in-person contact throughout all hotels. Some of the contactless and touchless service include self-check-in through smartphone, as well as controlling room lights, temperatures, and bathroom features by sensors or a smartphone. Another type of technology hotel is looking into invest is virtual assistants like Siri, Bixby, and Alexa. Google Assistant has created a hospitality application for its virtual assistant called Google Nest Hub, which rolled out this summer in a handful of hotels nationally. Google Nest Hub will answer questions and request extra services that guests will likely need, such as setting an alarm, requesting extra towels, as well as assisting guests with room service. Hotels will also look to add robotic service to improve room and dining services for the guests, and will also look to do work in both front and back of the house. Leading hotel companies such as Hilton and Marriott were already looking into adding robotic technology into their hotels back in early 2000s. Also, many of the companies believe that robotic service will keep the hot foods hot and cold drinks cold, and which had been the biggest problem for human service to do. Upon researching, I found how hotels in Europe are operating during this pandemic. Portugal has come up with a plan to get back people to hotels. One of the ways is that guests will not be checked into their rooms until 24 hours after the last occupant has checked out, to, to allow time for through cleaning and airing of spaces. As of right now, I think that would be a great idea to be implemented by all the lodging industry in the United States. How will restaurants deal with post-COVID-19 world? As you can see from today, many restaurants have moved their dining area outdoor. States like California, Florida, Hawaii can deal with bringing dining service to outdoors. However, other states that are much colder cannot have outdoor dining all year long. In order to deal with that problem, bringing in a heater to outside or having an isolated dining area with covers but open spaces could work for those states. Becoming to-go only restaurants and reducing number of employees are the next trends we see that many restaurants are doing. Grab and go through drive-through or parking space has become the new norm for restaurants as ordering and paying ahead on digital platforms has been increasing around restaurants. Another is having a delivery system in place. Meal delivery has become another popular trend as well for restaurants. Places like Chick-fil-A delivers up to certain miles without any delivery fees. However, most restaurants prefer to work with companies like Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, and Postmates for their delivery system to reduce time. The COVID-19 pandemic has created a drastic crisis for all businesses in the hospitality industry. Though the situation seems problematic, hotels and restaurants can make a strong recovery during this pandemic. So what are the recommendations for hotels and restaurants? For businesses to resume work during the pandemic, they should be certified by their local center of disease control and have their buildings be sanitized. The companies will need to be sure that their employees are constantly tested for COVID-19 and their results to come back as negative. Once the companies have been approved by the CDC and staff have been tested, companies can create safe guidelines for their staff and customers to follow. The guidelines should include of how staff should sanitize all areas with sanitizer and cleaning supplies constantly, and making sure staff always has their mask and gloves on. Checking the temperature of the guests coming in the building is another job of the staff members. Guests should always wear a mask before entering the establishment. Hand sanitizer should always be available for both staff and guests. The main goal for any hospitality business is to provide safety and service to the guests during this pandemic. Creating guidelines for staff members and customers to follow will be a must for all businesses. During these tough times, with the current increasing number of COVID-19's new infections and deaths, it is critical for tourists and other people in the country to take necessary precautions when traveling within the outside country. Traveling during this pandemic is not recommended, but if you must travel due to business or family emergencies, here are some recommendations. First, even if it's uncomfortable and nobody else is wearing their mask around you, be a responsible individual to wear a mask when traveling. Further, safety protocols set by World Health Organization should be followed by all travelers, which is that travelers must always wear their mask. Always practice social distancing. Do not stand too close to someone. Wash hands and try to carry travel size hand sanitizer with you in case you cannot wash your hand. Lastly, all travelers and their drivers should undergo a routine COVID-19 checkup for their health status. The above measures are meant to reduce the spread of COVID-19 to the healthy and more vulnerable people in the country. So how will life after COVID-19 look like? People will now need to be more careful and adapt to new surroundings when engaging outside during COVID-19 pandemic. To stop the spread of the virus from becoming more worse than it has, people had to stay homes and hospitality businesses had to be temporarily shut down. People had to cancel events that involved large gatherings and had to cancel travel plans. To stay in business and to prevent the virus from spreading, hospitality companies and travelers would have to follow all safety guidelines. Companies would have to often sanitize their establishment, while visitors would need to always wear a mask before entering the establishment. Other guidelines include having staff workers be tested for virus and to be tested for virus and keep social distance from others. These recommendations are to help companies stay in business while keeping travelers safe from virus. The pandemic had caused a disastrous situation for everyone, but by working for solutions and being patient, everyone will become stronger than before.